Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at the new Aerith Final Fantasy VI Crossover Draw. I'm going to be taking a look at the costume, the weapon, basically giving you guys my overall thoughts on this banner, who I think should pull, who I think should hold off. That being said, let's just get straight into it and start checking it out. So, I'm honestly super excited about Final Fantasy VI. I think all of the costumes look really cool, especially Aerith's right here. So like from an aesthetic standpoint, guys, like which character is better to play Terra than Aerith herself right here? I honestly just really love the entire setup of it right here. You've got the cool earrings right there. You've just got like everything is just freaking awesome. I like the fact that she's kind of turned the sword into a rod, but overall, guys, I mean, it's really cool. I like it a lot. All right, so that being said, I want to see the weapon animation here. All right, little spin of the staff right there. It really looks like it's wind elemental damage, but apparently it is AoE non-elemental. Alright, so that being said, I'm also going to touch on the ultimate weapon here. Now, I don't know exactly where I can see it. I think it's somewhere in the exchange. I've gotten lost trying to find these things before. So let's go to Metal Exchange, Ultimate Metals. Alright, it's not in here. I'm going to find it, guys. It's not in Guild Metals. Let's go to Mako Gem Exchange, Aerith. Here it is. Alright, so let's start with the ultimate weapon. Alright, so here is the Princess Guard. It really looks cool. I hope it has that aura. I'm guessing it has that aura on it. Alright, so physical attack 169, magic attack 161. Interesting, the physical attack is higher. With a healing stat of 183, the command ability is called Jubilation. Charge time 60 seconds, 2 casts, restores 30% of maximum HP. So this is going to not be healing based on your healing potency, but it's just going to do a flat 30% of maximum HP. So if you have Angel at 21,000 HP, it's going to heal you 7,000 right off the bat. On top of that, you're also going to get a plus ATB gauge, 3 bars for all allies used. So essentially twice in a match, you can get 6 extra ATB. Super solid, guys. Aerith has become so insanely good. She is definitely the best character in Ever Crisis. Alright, let's take a look at the R abilities. The first one is healing at 20 points. 20 points is going to give us 30 healing potency and 30% healing, alright, which is great. Now we have Regen Boost here. This is a new R ability. Alright, so Regen Boost at 25 points is going to apply Regen to all allies when battle begins. Effect duration 60 seconds. Wow, that's actually really good. So when I first saw this, and I saw that it applies Regen right when the battle starts, I probably had more or less the same reaction that most of you guys had. Why the heck would we want Regen right when the battle starts? Like, it would be better if this dropped a 60-second Regen when you did the 30% heal, right? Am I right? But the fact that it lasts a full minute, actually, is pretty helpful. It's going to help you get off basically on any battle off on the right foot. So it is super solid. If this was like 12 seconds, I would have been like, this is so absolutely ridiculous, but it actually looks pretty good here, guys. Now, I will stand by the fact that I don't think that any ultimate weapon should be chased to the pity. Alright, if we end up getting it, awesome. If we don't end up getting it, they're a part of the permanent pool. You guys will get it eventually. Now, I will say that Aerith's ultimate weapon is probably a higher priority than any other character just because she gets so much love, she gets so much battle time, and she's just straight up the best character in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, I would say, or at least the best support slash healer by far. She's kind of taken Matt's throne, and I do hope that Matt gets some stuff up here in the future to kind of bring him back, because she's benched him recently and continues to do so with the drop of incredible things coming back to back to back for her. So I do really like this ultimate weapon. It's not quite as good as I thought it was going to be, being Aerith's, but it is definitely really good. So I hope that you guys have really good luck getting it out there. Alright, so now that I found the ultimate weapon, let's go in and let's take a look at the actual banner itself. So we're going to take a look at the costume, Terra's Garb. Now the first our ability is called Physical and Magic Ward. This is going to give physical and magic defense plus 15%. So super solid, very tanky R ability coming in the first slot for the Terra's Garb. The second one is a buff debuff extension plus, which is what I believe is exactly on her Camerata dress. So I'm going to go into my co-op right here. We're going to find Aerith, and we're going to go in here and we're going to take a look at her other two costumes, which are kind of very similar to this one. Alright, so if we take a look at the Camerata dress, the first stat is healing. Okay, it gives 10 points of healing. Alright, the second stat is the buff debuff extension plus. So if you guys have the Camerata dress already, you know, you have half of that costume. Now let's take a look at the Bahamut robe. First one boosts physical magic attack of all allies, plus 10, and then plus 5% to each. Alright, so offensive. But then it also comes with Bahamut's protection. Now this one gives physical and magic defense plus 20%. Alright, and healing potency plus 10%. So in my opinion, the anniversary one is still the better costume. This one gives better physical and magic defense. It gives also physical and magic attack, and it also gives healing potency plus 10% as well. Then the only thing that you're really getting from the Terra's Garb is the buff debuff extension, but if you have the Camerata dress, then honestly the costume is not really necessary for anyone that has these things. Now if you don't have the Camerata dress, right, and you don't have the anniversary costume, it's going to be a great costume for sure. All around, it's going to be a good costume. I like buff debuff extension. It tends to come in handy a lot more times, you know, more often than we might think, and it's just a good thing to have. So let's turn back to the draw itself, but the costume is not quite as crazy as I might have expected it to be here. I thought there might be something more coming with this costume, but given the fact that she does have that triple imperil on this weapon, you know, having that buff debuff extension is going to be helpful. Alright, now let's take a look at the weapon itself. Alright, so the highlight of this banner is Terra's Rod. Here it is at base 5-star, level 120, magic attack stat of 275, and a healing stat of 189. The command ability is called Riot Blade. 4 ATB cost, deals 470% magic non-elemental damage to all enemies with a crit chance of 10%. This has a fire, ice, and thunder imperil. And not just that, but it goes mid to high for all three elements at base 5-star. So I will say that having a single copy of this weapon is probably a very good thing to have for 95% of accounts out there, just because of the versatility of having it, you know. However, we have tons of imperil weapons for both fire, ice, and thunder. I'm guessing that it's going to be very rare that we come across enemies where you need all three of these imperils, or even two of them in one fight. It's going to be pretty rare, especially for 3. So how effective this is going to be over time and how much it's actually going to be needed, you know, is really anyone's guess. I will say that probably Aerith will be prioritized in battles, and other mechanics will be required from other characters, making it hard to slot in imperilers, and this is where the ease of this weapon is going to come into play. So, you know, for me, I don't need the costume. I love the costume, but I don't need it, and I don't have extra crystals, so I really have to take this crossover a little more carefully than the anniversary. The anniversary, I had so many more crystals saved up, maybe 40 or 50,000 more than where I'm at right now. I had a lot more freedom. Now I can probably realistically pull on 2, maybe 3 banners if I get lucky. So, you know, for me, I'm going to be holding off on this banner. It's the first one in the crossover. We always know that the best weapon is typically somewhere towards the end of the banners dropping. My guess is it's going to be Cloud and Tifa. You know, that would be my guess, is Tifa's is probably going to be the best one, but it just depends if they release Light and Dark for Tifa and Cloud, which it looks like they could technically do it with this crossover, but that would just be absolutely, you know, kind of crazy, guys. But my goal for this weapon is to probably pull one copy of it, but not till later on, not till I can really get an overview of the rest of the banners, or at least one more banner, right? Just to see what's going on. You know, if you're a newer player and you're missing some of these imperils, this is an absolutely incredible weapon to get, guys. You only need one single copy of it. It still can hit high. It has really good R abilities, buff debuff extension. You know, for the support abilities, we have magic attack boost, and all cure spells in the third slot, which is super nice and convenient to have. All right, now if we take this weapon to OB6, we get a magic attack stat of 605, 249 healing. Riot Blade Plus deals 660% magic non-elemental damage. All 3 imperils go immediately to high at first cast, guys, so super, super good. However, you can see, oh yeah, actually the duration is really good too. 25 seconds on the initial duration boost is really solid for triple imperil, plus the fact that you're dealing actually good AoE non-elemental damage. Very solid. Very solid weapon, guys. Now at OB6, boost HP is going to hit 54. This is a weapon that will hit 62 at OB10, so it's basically the best you can get, especially having HP super handy in a lot of those tough fights. HP really, you know, becomes a kind of a turning point, right? And then buff debuff extension is going to be sitting at 27 here at OB6. Now, I would say that it's not a necessity that you get this weapon OB6, but I don't think it's a necessity to take this weapon past OB6, except if you're chasing R abilities, which to me is a bit of a luxury to be chasing R abilities on banners and, you know, pulling for weapons. There's something slowly that we can build over time, but these are limited weapons as well, and we're seeing a reduction of character-specific weapon parts, especially in the shop, etc. So these are definitely going to be harder to build over time. Alright, now let's take a look at the Terra's Rod at OB10, 660 magic attack, 264 healing. It will deal 750% magic non-elemental damage, so nothing to be laughed at. The imperils stay exactly the same. The duration bumps up to 35 seconds, which is really nice, guys. Sometimes duration, you know, can be the make it or break it moment in a fight. The R abilities, HP at 62, buff debuff extension 39, super good R abilities, guys. S tier R abilities. We have the support abilities, magic attack boost, all cure. So also looking very good as well. You know, overall, I think I give this weapon like, I mean, it's a great weapon, guys. It's definitely an S tier weapon. The fact that you only need this at base 5-star in order to make it viable is really handy, I think. But for me, my personal preference will be to wait to see at least Cloud's banner or the second banner before I really come into this, especially because, you know, I don't need the costume. And, you know, but if you don't have a buff debuff extension costume for Aerith, if you don't have the Comrade dress, this might be something worth going for, especially because I feel like a lot of people will be pulling for just like one copy of this sword, and then a lot of people are going to want the costume just because it looks super cool. It's Terra, but my recommendation to you guys is to wait. Obviously, this banner will end on December 4th. Wow, I cannot believe that we're almost in December. That kind of blows my mind here a little bit, but you know, that's over a month away. That's 5 weeks away, meaning this banner is going to almost guaranteed be up by the time that all 4 of the crossover banners drop. So, you know, if you guys are lower on crystals right now, if you're trying to play it more cautionary, especially because the anniversary was recently around the corner, I do recommend just waiting to see what comes out, just so that you can make a more educated guess going forward. But I will say that just getting just a base 5-star version of this weapon is probably going to be worth it for most accounts out there. Alright, so that being said, guys, that basically covers this banner right here. I know I was doing some pulls on some of these at, you know, during the anniversary, but I don't have that freedom anymore. And so for me, this is going to be a skip, at least for now. So yeah, that being said, I do wish you guys the best of luck out there. If you guys have any more questions about your account in, you know, in general, you know, in context to this weapon, and if you should pull it, just drop a comment, guys. I'm really happy to help, you know, all of you guys out there as much as I can, as much as I am able, and I do wish you guys the best of luck out there with pulls. I do have a small announcement for you guys. As you guys know, the 4th Guild War just ended, and we are doing some recruiting in the Curseborn Alliance. So, you know, we do have, I think, 1 or 2 spots open in Leviathan, which is going to be essentially pushing hard for top 10. So if you're trying to be in a top 10 guild and you're a strong player, you're dedicated, and you want to make that push, definitely jump in our Discord. There's a link in the description of all my videos. But then we also have guilds with a few spots open, right? You know, in the top 20, top 30, top 50, top 100. And we also have a couple casual guilds too. So, you know, very relaxed restrictions, basically just dailies, hang out a little bit, have some fun. So if you're a player, you're looking for a community, you're looking for an environment, you're looking for a good vibe, you know, to have fun and play with other players, come join our Discord. It's called the Curseborn Discord. There's a link, like I said, in the description of all my videos. So that being said, I'm going to bring this video to an end. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.